great to have somebody like yourself on here just to add some realistic mindset to all this, right?
I think so. I mean, it's good to hear from different people. And to your point about, look, you don't want to sound too professorial because it seems like you're looking down your nose at people
Yeah.
and judging. Like it's in America, we have this phrase, rules for thee, but not for me, right? It's kind of how Congress, for example, doesn't have to use the same healthcare system we do or the same retirement systems we do.
Yeah.
They have their own stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the idea, like this country was founded specifically to avoid aristocracy,
Yeah.
and aristocracy happened pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
A lot of quote unquote patriots don't want to admit that, but our country has been fucked up for a long time. But I think that I think the benefit of just talking out loud about why you think what you think is the equivalent of showing your work on a math problem. So the professor can come over and see, like, oh, here's where you fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And then you can correct yourself. And I think in this case, the professor is the public discourse is provided it's honest and there's all the information out there. Then you should be able to track your thoughts back. Like, I think this, and this, and here's why. And then somebody's like, well, on point A, this piece of data is actually wrong. And maybe that affects point C or doesn't, right? But if it might affect point D or
Yeah.
E or so on. And if you don't have all the information, you can't make an educated decision. So
No, yeah, that goes with everything, right?
yeah, that's why I don't want to be in a vacuum of people who only think like me.
Yeah. I love
It
that.
just doesn't make sense.
Have you written a book yet?
I'm working on a few right now. Yeah.
Okay.
One of them is, excuse me. One of them is for one of the shows, the American Party. And it's basically just, it's kind of a list of principles. So the premise of, at least from my perspective, Dakota could probably speak more from his, although I think he's aligned with me on this, that the principle of the American Party is principles over people. Like, I'm not going to get involved in Trump versus Biden because I don't give a shit about either one of those guys. What I care about is what's right and what's wrong and what's working and what isn't working. That's what I care about. So, I mean, it reminds me of the old Ford Chevy debates. Like, one of them is better for something and one of them is better for something. That is an objective empirical fact.
Yeah.
And we can find that out if we just divorce ourselves from the romantic idea that one of them is better than the other intrinsically, because that doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So, excuse me, the book I'm writing right now, The American Party, goes over the principles that I think are the most important principles that we could draw from the founders of the country, the Constitution, from from John Locke, from all these people that have written about republicanism and classical liberalism and all this stuff over the years. And, the interesting part about being able to do it this way and having the show is I can get feedback. So I can put this stuff out into the universe.
Yeah.
And I
love that.
My listeners can come back at me and look, we have a very diverse group of listeners. We have truck drivers and people in the military. We have physicists. Dr. Brian Keating is a great friend of mine. He's been listening to the show forever. They'll call me directly or DM me or whatever and see, like, hey, what you said makes sense, or here's why I think what you said almost made sense, or what you said made no sense, right? And it's good to get that feedback.
That's how you grow, right? Being challenged. That's
right.
The only way we grow. So I love that.
Yeah, I like that. All these fucking tough guy patriot people that are always on these purity tests and all this stuff, talking about iron sharpens iron. Dude, sitting around in a room just talking shit with people who think exactly like you, that's not iron. That's not sharpening anything. You're just being an asshole, to be honest.
I love it.